Protesters in Bahrain may have lost one of their staunchest defenders. Human Rights Watch says security forces arrested a prominent defense lawyer on Friday. Now, the royal family in the tiny Persian Gulf nation has done its best to silence dissent. The opposition has faced a vicious crackdown that included the demolition of the Pearl Roundabout. That's where protests began. The family of the detained lawyer was given no explanation for his arrest. Despite the crackdown, though, quiet heroes of the uprising, they are emerging. Amber Line joins me now from CNN Center with the story of one such courageous woman in a place, Amber, where it appears it's dangerous to defend human rights.
Well, good evening, Errol. And we've been dealing with a mother who lives in Bahrain who says that her husband, brother-in-law, and father were taken by security forces, and she hasn't seen them since. That was about a week ago. So she decided to go on a hunger strike. As of today, she's on day 6. Now, earlier today, family members rushed Zainab Al-Khawaja to the hospital after they became worried about her health. They say that she was weak. She was barely able to talk. I spoke with Zainab on the phone just minutes ago. She says that when she got to this private hospital, she refused to allow doctors to administer IV fluids. She also says that she asked her family members to get her the heck out of the hospital after she says doctors told her they've now been ordered to inform the Bahraini government anytime they're treating a protester or anyone who's in the opposition. And there's been widespread fear among Bahrainis about entering hospitals because the military's been accused by numerous human rights groups of using hospitals as a place to sort of identify protesters. Now, we spoke with Zainab on day 4 of her hunger strike via Skype. Here's her story. Zainab Al-Khawaja says she is ready to starve to death unless Bahraini authorities release her father and husband.
If my father is going to be killed, I want to die as well. We've always been taught by my father, dying with dignity is better than living as slaves.
The 27-year-old is on a hunger strike, even though she has a 1-year-old daughter, Jude.
She's looking at this picture of me and her dad. That's why she keeps saying blah, 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 blah. He's really funny. Look at this one. He's always doing funny things to make people laugh.
How can you starve to death and leave your daughter to be raised by someone who's not her mother?
If it was just about my daughter, I would never do this. I'd rather spend every day of my life with her and see her grow up. But on the other hand, I'm not willing to stay silent.
A week ago, security forces burst into her home searching for her father, Abdul Hadi Al-Khawaja, a prominent human rights activist.
They started beating him severely, and they dragged him down the stairs, threw him on the ground, and 4 or 5 men were kicking him and punching him, and one of them had his hand on my father's throat the whole time. And the last thing I heard my father say was that he couldn't breathe. He was gasping for air and saying that he couldn't breathe.
Security forces also took her brother-in-law and her husband. And Zainab's family is not alone. Human Rights Watch says Bahraini police forces have detained more than 430 people in recent weeks, often violently, late at night, using armed, masked security men. 4 people have died while in custody in the past 2 weeks. Karim Fakwari, a blogger and founder of an opposition newspaper. Human Rights Watch says photos of his body show disturbing signs of torture. Bahraini officials say he died of kidney failure. The U.S. State Department is calling for investigations into these deaths.
We are aware of the death, and we're obviously we are deeply concerned by the deaths of both him and several other individuals while in custody of Bahraini authorities. And we would call on the government of Bahrain to conduct complete and transparent investigations into all these deaths.
The State Department has been quick to denounce regimes in Egypt, Syria, Libya. But its tone towards Bahrain has been much more muted. The tiny island is home port to the U.S. Fifth Fleet. But as the number of detained and dead keeps rising, the kingdom's Shiite majority is looking to Washington to take a stand. Zainab wrote a letter to President Obama asking him for help.
What's making it so much more difficult for us, and the reason we have to suffer so much more, is because the American administration is standing behind the dictator and giving him the green light to do whatever he wants with the people of Bahrain. All I want from the American administration, I don't want them to save the people of Bahrain. I don't want an intervention. All I want is for them to stop supporting the Al Khalifa regime, who have proved now more than ever that they are corrupt, that they care only about their thrones, that they are willing to kill and torture.
And we've repeatedly tried to contact Bahraini authorities for a comment. They are not commenting right now. Activists also say they're planning a nationwide 3-day hunger strike set to start tomorrow in protest of these arrests and torture allegations. Errol?
All right, Amber Lyon there at CNN Center. Thank you.